Okay, so now we have two world champions.
Two world champions playing together. Well, Petrosian was a player a little bit difficult for Kasparov. They played many times. And in many other games, Petrosian had some small problems, but he could resist. And finally, he made the drawer. Even, in some games, he won. But here, again, he gave the possibility to have a small advantage for white, after the opening, trying to resist later on. It's not so easy to resist, but it's also very difficult to win with a very small edge.
For white.
Yeah, for white. And this is theory again. And it's very nice to see that finally Kasparov was able to win in Petrosian style. It's very small advantage, almost from nothing. He realized very nicely a very small advantage until the end. We'll see. Okay, so castle, bishop g2 and d5. Okay, so now after d5, castle. And black wants to play the normal line to have an even game very quickly, This is theory again, and he took in c4. Now, knight a3 is the best move. And here, after knight a3, the best way to do it is to play first rook d8, If he plays rook d8, he wins a small tempo, which is probably enough to have more or less an even game, or the advantage for white is very small, because the best move after rook d8 is queen c2. So after queen c2, he plays c5. It's a small tempo for black, but very important, you see. We'll see the why. So he played immediately c5, and after immediately c5, white has the same ideas, but with a tempo less for black, So, okay, now he took in c5, he took, and rook c1, okay, normal. Again, here, knight c6, knight takes c4, and again here, he could play rook d8. Again, it was a little bit better, rook d8. And after rook d8, queen c2, white had the idea to play queen c2 and queen b3 later, with a small edge for white, But like this, he has a little bit more. White has some bigger advantage. Small enough, but bigger, Why? Because he controls the squares. He comes very quickly, you see. So after knight e5, very nice and very normal, you see, white controls everything, the central squares, So now he takes, and we can see the result of the opening. The result is very clear. White has the d file for the moment, the c file, all the white squares on the big diagonal, and he threatens immediately rook d1. If he comes to d1, okay, he has everything, Black tries some counterplay by giving a pawn for the moment. Giving a pawn. If he takes there, it's not good to give such a strong bishop, Black has a hope to come immediately with bishop e6, and take back the pawn from a2, maybe, somehow. But at least he has some good counterplay on the central squares. But of course, white doesn't take, This is the problem. He continues the idea, rook d1. Now black changes the plan, and he goes with the knight on the other side, tries to control the d7 square, and later on to try to arrive with the bishop into play, bishop d7, later on, you see.
Yeah.
And now again, very good move, queen a5. Now, very unpleasant, because black has to find a plan, here, what to do.
But why is good queen?
Because he controls the squares, Black can't move the rook for the moment because he loses immediately the pawn from a7, And he has very big problems. In some lines, white is coming on the c line by moving queen c5, like in the game, but much later, much later. This is a good idea. Now he gives the possibility for black to do something, to play something. But it's very difficult to have a plan because it's very cramped. The black position is very cramped, It's very little thing to do.
Yeah.
So, okay, it's very difficult to find the plan. Okay, and it's very easy for white, you see. So, rook d3. So, okay. He tries again to give something for Counterplay, you know.
Counterplay.
Of course, white doesn't take, play c4. Now, black has to go back. As in many of their games, black is patient. I mean, he knows that he can't resist. He has very good, you know, technique to defend and so. And Kasparov has to be patient also, you know, has to do it very, you know, nicely, little by little, like this, you know. So, okay, he controls the squares. He changes the diagonal by controlling completely the white diagonal from f1 to b5 later on, see? So, okay, now here, black waits again.
But wasn't better to come with this rook here?
Well, if he comes there, then white can probably even take there, and knight c4 is also very good for white. Or even the rook in d1. And okay, it's always better. But after rook e8, rook d8, another possibility is, okay, rook d8, probably the best way to do it for white is to play simply queen c5. And here we have this position. If you now it's too late for black to do something. You have to accept the fact that the position is like this, and the continuation is forced. Queen takes c5. No. If he takes in d3, he can resign.
Yeah.
You have to take. Now rook takes d8 check. Now the only move, queen f8. Now he takes in f8, king takes f8, rook c7, decisive advantage for white. Black can resign.
Yes.
No.
Sorry.
So, okay, very dangerous. Again, black has to try to resist by only moves, you know. But it's already very difficult. Rook e8, okay. Rook back gives the possibility to go wrong again, you know.
Again.
Okay, so, all right, rook f8, he waits, of course. And now, little by little, we see. a3, we prepare, white prepares, you see. Black, what can he do? Has to wait, king g7, okay. Move by move, I tell you. b3, again, he played a3, b3. Now he'll play later on a4. By a4, he controls absolutely everything on the queen side, and he threatens something later on, the decisive blow, you know. So, okay. Black waits, no? a4, no? And rook d8. Finally, he arrived to d8. And here, what happened? Queen c5, I told you.
Yeah.
The final blow, queen c5. Now, okay, what to do?
He resigned.
He resigned, but why? Because everything is forced. Again, I told you before. If you take king c5, again, the same idea.
Yeah.
He takes there, you know, queen f8, takes, and the rook c7 completes Zugzwang. Not only that he wants to take there, but he threatens also a5 and he wins the knight.
Yes.
It seems very easy, but it's unbelievable against a player like Petrosian to have such a position, you know.
Against this move, what can you play here?
Well, here everything wins. Even knight g4 wins, you know.
Knight g4.
Well, he can win immediately the pawn with the rook f7 check, you know.
Yes.
But this is terrible. After knight g4 is terrible because he wants to take there, you know.
Take here, yes.
Yeah. Well, he takes everything, you know. And knight d7, you can resign immediately after bishop b5, you know. Look at this, a disaster for black, you know.
Yeah, true.
Terrible.
Yeah, I look at this game before by myself and I didn't understood too much by now.
You know, this,
yes.
For this very high level, it's very clear. But for the rest of the people, I mean, if you look at this, you think, okay, white has something a little bit and so, but you don't understand very easy why and how.
Yeah.
But the continuation is very clear, you see, I tell you. And the highest level is always like this. If somebody of their class, I mean, Kasparov, Petrosian, Spassky, and so on, you know, all the best players, they have such a position, they are very happy. Why? Because they play alone. Like in this game. In one moment, Kasparov plays and the other one is spectator, you know.
Yeah.
If you have to play all the time king g8, king g7, and so on, you know, then you understand. Until the end, you see, until the end, the rook from a8, the bishop from c8 didn't play. The whole game.
Yes.
Tigran, he played without two pieces.
And Kasparov used this
No,
advantage.
of course, it's very easy, you know. But it was this small mistake in the opening. I don't know if he could save the game, but it is theory. Everybody knows now that rook d8 is the best move. When he played immediately c5. There maybe is the small moment. If he could play rook d8 and then c5 and the rest, okay, white is a little bit better, but not so much, you know. But like this, it was enough, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Gheorghiu.
You are